Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're thrilled to have you here today. Today, we're diving into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, a series that's near and dear to any horror fan's heart, or should I say, stomach. This iconic series has been terrifying audiences for decades, and it's time we give it the deep dive it deserves. We're talking 9 movies, spanning decades, each one trying to outdo the last in sheer brutality and terror. From the gritty, raw feel of the original 1974 classic to the more polished but equally horrifying reboots, this franchise has it all. We've got cannibals, chainsaws, and enough screaming to wake the dead. Each film brings its own unique flavor of horror, making it a roller coaster ride of fear and excitement. Get ready to dig in as we rank all 9 Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, from the absolute worst to the very best. We'll explore what makes each film stand out, whether it's the chilling atmosphere, the unforgettable characters, or the sheer gore. Let's fire up the chainsaw and get started. This is going to be a thrilling journey through one of horror's most legendary franchises. Buckle up, because it's going to be a wild ride. Where do we even begin with this one? It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Texas Chainsaw 3D tried to revamp the franchise, picking up directly after the original film, but instead, it just crashed and burned. The anticipation was high, but the execution was a complete letdown. Fans were left scratching their heads, wondering what went wrong. The plot was all over the place, trying to make Leatherface some kind of anti-hero after he, massacred a group of teenagers, including the main character's friends. It was a confusing mess that left audiences more frustrated than entertained. And don't even get me started on that awful one-liner. Do your thing, cuz. It was supposed to be a memorable moment, but instead it became a cringe-worthy joke that fans couldn't take seriously. It's enough to make you want to bury your head in a Texas ditch. The film had potential, but it squandered every opportunity to be great. Instead, it became a cautionary tale of how not to revive a horror classic. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 took a hard turn into black comedy territory, and honestly, it just didn't land for me. Now I can appreciate a little dark humor, but this one went a bit overboard. Leatherface became a caricature of himself, more goofy than terrifying. It felt like they were trying to capitalize on the success of films like Evil Dead 2, but it just felt forced and out of place in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe. Look, I get the appeal of an origin story. We all want to know what twisted path led to Leatherface becoming the iconic horror villain he is. But Leatherface just felt unnecessary. Watching a young Leatherface develop his taste for blood wasn't as compelling as the filmmakers hoped it would be. It lacked the raw intensity and visceral horror of the original, leaving us with a forgettable entry in the franchise. Chapter 4. Hopes were high for the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A direct sequel to the original, ignoring all the others? Sounds like a recipe for success, right? Well, not quite. While it had its moments, the film was ultimately bogged down by cringy dialogue, forced social commentary, and some truly head-scratching character choices. It felt like it was trying too hard to be relevant, and in the process, it lost sight of what made the original so terrifying. Chapter 5. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Next Generation is a bit of a mixed bag. On the one hand, it's got some serious flaws, including a convoluted plot and some questionable acting. But on the other hand, it gave us Matthew McConaughey in all his unhinged glory as Vilmer Slaughter. His performance is so over the top and entertaining that it single-handedly elevates the entire film. Plus, it's got some genuinely creepy moments that remind you why you love this franchise in the first place. Chapter 6. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Part 3 often gets overlooked, but I'm here to tell you it deserves more love. It's got a solid cast, including the always awesome Viggo Mortensen, and it features some of the most brutal kills in the entire franchise. Plus, Leatherface's look in this one is top-notch, truly terrifying. It's not perfect, but it's a worthy successor to the original. Chapter 7. The beginning, a bleak and brutal prequel, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The beginning is a prequel that doesn't pull any punches. It's dark, it's gritty, and it shows us the horrifying origins of Leatherface and the Hewitt family. The film doesn't shy away from the brutality that would come to define the franchise, and while it's not an easy watch, it's a powerful and effective horror film. Just be prepared for a bleak and unforgiving experience. Chapter 8, 1974, the one that started it all. What more can be said about the 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre? This is the granddaddy of them all, the film that set the standard for slasher films to come. Its low-budget, documentary-style approach created an atmosphere of raw, unrelenting terror. Gunnar Hansen's performance as Leatherface is iconic, and the final scene with Sally Hardesty escaping into the night is forever etched in horror history. It's a masterpiece of horror cinema. Chapter 9, 2003, A Cut Above the Rest, and now for my personal favorite, the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. This film took the horror genre by storm, revitalizing a classic with a fresh, modern twist. This film is a masterclass in tension and suspense. Every scene is meticulously crafted to keep you on the edge of your seat, with heart-pounding moments that will leave you breathless. It features a fantastic cast, including Jessica Biel, who delivers a powerful performance that adds depth and emotion to the story, and a truly terrifying R. Lee Ermey as Sheriff Hoyt. His portrayal of the sadistic sheriff is both chilling and unforgettable, adding a new layer of horror to the film. The remake manages to capture the spirit of the original, paying homage to its roots while also bringing something new to the table. It updates the visuals and storytelling for a new generation, making it accessible and terrifying for both old fans and newcomers alike. And for my money, this film features the most terrifying portrayal of Leatherface yet. He's brutal, he's relentless, and his presence is absolutely menacing. He'll haunt your nightmares long after the credits roll. This remake is a true testament to the enduring power of horror cinema. That's our ranking of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. From the bottom of the barrel to the gory heights of horror excellence, this franchise has been terrifying audiences for decades. How would you rank the series? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more horror content. See you next time.
Come with me, you will see a world full of bullets and disintegration.